Okay guys, I'm going to do some closing thoughts for this deck. So in the end we ended up going 3-0 in TP, which is actually pretty good, but of course it's only in TP, so I don't think I'm very confident about bringing this in, for example, against leagues, right, or even a challenge. I wouldn't bring this to a challenge. But it's interesting that we have answers to most of the aggressive decks in the main deck in circular protections, and that against control, and these are going to be dead, of course. So we have to have a way of dealing with control in the main deck. So the way that we have that is by having more counter spells than they have, because we have 10 counter spells. Against control, but the mixture is going to be a counter spell most of the time. So in terms of closing thoughts, I think Latinum's Legacy is kind of bad. It can be useful against control, yeah, to cycle one of these circular protection, but that's so narrow, I think I'm going to just remove it and put another brainstorm. Yeah, so we're going to have more brainstorms, which will help us also churn through our deck. Again, remember that we have a lot of shuffle effects, right? We have 4 Aggro of Polas, all of these cantrips, and all of these effects in the main deck. Additionally, we also have the Muddle mixture if we need to shuffle. It's not normally the case, but it's something that you can do. Another thing I realized that you can shuffle your brainstorm with Random Legacy, so that's kind of cute. A bit, not that strong, right? So I think another brainstorm is going to be okay, even though in the games we found sometimes that we had a brainstorm that we didn't want to cast because we didn't have a shuffle effect. I think that that's not normally going to be the case. We have a lot of shuffle effects in the main. So yeah, that was basically my only comment here. I'm fairly confident that this mana base is fine. Having the second Swan fetchable is useful for Chainer's Edicts and to double spell when we have several removal spells. Only one white in the fetchable front was fine. This is only a splash, and even when we bring low missionaries in, for example, we want to remove a couple of circular protection. So normally it's fine that we have only 1 or 2 sources of white in a game. It's very difficult to double spell with this. With white mana, I mean, right? So basically, I think the thing I need to improve here are the one-offs that we are fetching. So we have all of these removal spells, right? I'm okay with Journey Nowhere. I think it makes sense when you draw your planes to have a removal spell, or when you have to fetch your planes first for some reason, you have the removal spell. Only one though, no more than that. Of course, if we weren't playing white, we would just play another Castellan, for example. But I want to play white for the circular protection and the sideboard, really. So in terms of one-offs, I found that we never actually fetched Echo in Truth. So I'm thinking of removing Echo in Truth and Ponder for other one-drops. So we could remove Ponder, put Echo in Truth in the sideboard, remove like a Dispel or whatever, and now we have a bit more space for the deck. So one card that I wanted to play is Sky Fisher. And this is because it blocks very, very well. So the way that we lose normally is against flyers, right? 1 or 2 flyers can just swing a couple of times and we are going to lose just to a Mood Drifter. And that happened in the Walls matchup and in the Blue-White matchup that we were, I don't remember exactly how many games we lose to that, but it was a problem, right? We had a Mood Drifter on the other side that we had to block, and we didn't have the circular protection for whatever reason. So one Sky Fisher can just win so much time. Also, it just speeds the win condition very, very fast. So that's basically it. Another thing that we could play is maybe another creature. I'm not so sure about what really, but maybe another creature could be fine just to block, because we have these blocking problems. So I was thinking of maybe putting like a low missionary in the main deck, something like this, to just round up the creature base, because just blocking is very important for us and this gains a lot of time. So maybe my thoughts are either move a low missionary in the main deck to just have another way of gaining life, having another blocker that can trade with something of the opponents, and so on. Also, we can also just put a nausea in the main deck. I think it's main deckable. It's not good. It's similar to Circle of Protection. It's kind of a Circle of Protection for elves. Um, so that depends, of course, on the meta game and all that. So that's kind of something that you need to balance yourself. Additionally, I don't think Seal of Cleansing makes sense. I would put a Disenchant here, straight up Disenchant. Because we don't need to play this as a sorcery. The Seal of Cleansing, there is no need for us to be playing things at sorcery speed. We have several things that are instant speed, so we want to be able to interact instant speed if we can. Then lastly, maybe here we will need to add something else, like, I don't know, maybe another removal spell, for example, or maybe another dispel, like the one that I removed. Basically, the thing is we want to have several things to bring in against controlling decks, right? So we want to have a healthy number of dispels and deep analysis in the sideboard for that. And maybe another thing that we could start thinking is about bringing in the Jace Erasure for when we are against control. We didn't bring them in against our opponents, mostly because most of them were trying to win with combat damage. But we could have bring that in against blue-white flicker. We didn't, and in the end it ended up paying off because just countering things was enough. But if they play like several more counter spells and more permission spells, having just a Jace Erasure that's sitting on the battlefield, threatening your your library size, could be a good idea. So rounding up, I think the deck is fine. It's working. It's not super powerful. I think it needs to be improved, and I'm all ears for new 2-drops that we could fit in here. Just 2-drops that could be useful against several decks, and maybe Nausea could be in the main deck. That could make sense. I could see that. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe something like this, right? So just have a Nausea in your main deck. For elves, have Circle of Protection Blue for fairies, you have Circle of Protection Green for Stompy, you have Circle of Protection Red for Burn, and for control you just have a pile of counter spells and card draw. That would be the idea, right? So let me know about your thoughts about this deck. If you have any other ideas that we could bring in, any other, as I said, any other silver bullets, that would be fine. And also, if you have another deck idea that you want to see myself play, just let me know. I'm all ears. I really want to make this channel grow, so let me know of anything that you find was interesting for you. And also, thank you so much to Rafael, which is doing the editing for this channel now. And I really appreciate him, and he's awesome. So huge shout out to him. So see you in the next one.